Hi, Year 6, happy Monday to you. Hopefully you've had a nice weekend and you're rested and that you're ready for a week ahead. So I've popped up to do a little bit of spelling with you. I'm going to set you a task every day again like we've been doing, and I hope that you'll find that practice really beneficial and that some of these words are going to stick in your head just because we've practiced them. So today and this week we're going to be looking at homophones and near homophones. And I know some of you go, oh, it's homophones. And they're just hard. You know, we've just got to try and remember which spelling to use in which context. And there's loads of them, really. The English language is an enigma. But I'm hoping that today you might get a couple of little tips that would help you with just a few of those words as we introduce some of them to you and have a little revisit of some that you probably have already encountered. So I'll just share my screen and we're going to have a little look back and just see if we can remind ourselves what these things are. So what are homophones? Which statements are true? So homophones that sound different are words that sound different to each other. They're words that sound exactly the same as each other. They're words with the same spelling, and they're words with different spellings and meanings. So which of those statements are true? Are they words that sound different to each other? Are they words that sound exactly the same? Are they words with the same spelling, or are they words with different spellings and meanings? There we go. So homophones are words that sound exactly the same as each other and words with different spellings and meanings. So what are near homophones? Which statements are true? Words that sound exactly the same as each other, words that sound very similar to each other, words that have different meanings and spellings, and words with the same spelling. What do you think? Here we go. They're words that sound very similar to each other and words that have different meanings and spellings. So let's start with two near homophones. We've got advice and advise, and device and devise. And they're near homophones because they don't sound exactly the same. Advice, advise, device, devise. Here is advice versus advise. It says, when you need help, what do you ask for? Advice or advise? This is the question that many writers find themselves asking. And I bet some of us have asked this before as well. Which one do we use where? So let's have a look at the definition of advice. Advice is a noun that means a suggestion of how you should act in a certain situation. For example, the teacher gave good advice on how to do place value. Okay, so that's a noun. Advice is a noun, that she gave good advice, something that she gave. It's not something that she does, it's something that she can offer to someone. And then advise is a verb that means to recommend or to give someone information about something or to give a suggestion. For example, she wondered the best way to advise her friend who was having a hard time. So you can see that trying to give advice to her friend, if you say she was wondering the best way to advise her friend, that suddenly becomes a verb. It becomes something that she's doing. And you'll notice that in the noun, the C is before the E, and in the verb, the S is before the E. So let's have a look at the next one. Device versus devise. So device is a noun, a machine or a tool designed to serve a special purpose. You can remember this one because I bet you've all got one of these, a device. A device. Remember the E before the C at the end of it. So here's an example. My friend Jerry needed a storage advice to save all the movies that we set out to binge watch next week. Okay, device, noun, C before the E. And devise as a verb is to create a plan, an idea or system by careful thought. The main purpose of our emergency meeting is to devise a strategy on how we can increase our enrolment rate. So you will notice that when the word is used as a noun, it has a C before the final E. And when it's used as a verb, a doing word, it has an S. Noun C, verb S. Noun C, verb S. Here's two homophones where the same rule applies. Practice, practice. But these two sound exactly the same. That's why they're a homophone. Practice with a C is going to be a noun. Practice with an S is going to be a verb. License, license with a C is going to be a noun. License with an S is going to be a verb. So here's what they mean. Okay, the meaning's really similar on these, and so there's just a subtle difference in how the word is used. Okay, so it's a habit or a tradition, training in a profession or improving a skill. Here's the examples. The examples are what makes it clear. It's common practice to tip the waiter. I applied for the job at the new dental practice. Now that's the one that helps me remember it. Dental practice or the doctor's practice, because it's a place. I go to a football practice every day. It's something that I go to. It's not something that I'm doing. It's something that I go to. And then practice with an S as a verb. She practices her religion. He practiced as a doctor for 9 years. And I need to practice my English. S is a verb. That's something that we do. He practiced with an S as a doctor for 9 years in his practice with a C. That's the place where he did his practice with an S. Confusing. And here's license and license. So license as a noun is a permit given to you by an authority to own or use something, to do a particular thing or carry on a trade. So here's an example. She got her driving license when she was 17. So it's a thing. There's your noun. Driving license with a C, noun. C with a noun, C with a noun. And then the S with a verb is to give permission to. So here's an example. His excellent maths knowledge gave him license to teach his peers. It gave him permission because he had such good maths knowledge. So it gave him license with an S, because it's a verb, to teach his peers. Okay, have a little look at this. Wendy and the Lost Boys tried to something, a plan to escape. There's a few little pictures in here from Peter Pan, just to help us have a little practice. Wendy and the Lost Boys tried to something, a plan to escape. So we've got device, and what's the near homophone that fits in there? It's a verb, devise. Okay, Wendy and the Lost Boys tried to devise a plan to escape. Okay, so hopefully that's just a few little tips. If it's got a CE on the end, it's a noun. If it's got an SE on the end, it's a verb. It's something that you do, okay? So if you know that it's something that you do, you're going to put an SE on the end. And if it's a noun, you're going to put a CE on the end. So we've got advice, advise, device, devise. And then here's another near homophone. It's not the same rule, it's a different rule. Affect. What's the near homophone that would match that? Affect or effect. Okay, two different things, two different things. Remember though, a noun is, let's think about putting that in a sentence. It had an effect on me, or if it was going to be an effect, it would be something that I would be doing. I didn't explain that very well, but don't worry, we'll do some more practice on that this week. So please don't worry. We'll practice that one this week. This is just a few little quiz for us, really, just to see what we know, see if we can remember which word to choose in which context, just for these homophones, and hopefully they're ones that you've probably already looked at before. And then as we head into the week, we'll do a bit more deeper knowledge on them, okay? So Peter Pan and the children were close to the something of Neverland. The Isle, or the Isle. A-I-S-L-E, I-S-L-E, or I''L. It can't be I''L because that means I will. Peter Pan and the children were close to the I will of Neverland. Doesn't make sense. Which one do you think it's going to be? I always remember this one because the isle of something is very much like island, okay? And you can see the first two letters, ISL, are the first two letters of island. So let's see. Yeah, it's the Isle of Neverland. Okay, here's another one. Wendy's something was very cross with her. So we've got father, the homophone. What's the other one? What's the other way of spelling father? Wendy's father was very cross with her. How would we spell that? Okay, I would remember this one as well, because father with an R in it is about how far you go. And to me, it kind of makes the word a bit longer because you go farther with the word. So it's actually this one, F-A-T-H-E-R, father, was very cross with her. Okay, so that's just a little, I don't know, just a little taster on this Monday morning. You'll have activities to do every day, so have a look at them. Really do practice these, because really we've just got to learn them. And once we've got them, we'll know exactly which word to use in the right context. So happy spelling, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.